Hello, I'm Bernie Davies, founder and CEO of Bernie Davies Global. And I'd like to have a fireside chat with us this afternoon, morning, whatever time it is in your side of the world, about the hidden barriers to achieving diversity and inclusion. Now, a lot of us ask the question, if diversity is so good, why aren't more people doing it? Why aren't we achieving it? To be honest, I really think that one of the great barriers to us achieving diversity, and if you notice, it's not just diversity, it's inclusion, because true diversity cannot obtain without inclusion, because all we will have is separate and unequal. Yes? So why aren't we achieving it? Truth of the matter is that there's no real incentive to do so. The people that can make it happen are not yet fully convinced that it is a viable option. And when I say a viable option, I mean a financially viable option. Because let us just understand that unfortunately we live in a society, and as it has always been from the days when the campaigners against slavery were trying their hardest, it has always come down to the matter of money. Is it financially viable to set aside heinous actions, unjust ways of being and treating certain groups of people? What is in it for us? So unless and until, just as in those days when they discovered that it was better to abolish slavery, it was more financially viable, because up until today, years onwards, we're still paying them back for loss of property. Now, I don't want to digress, but I just want us to think, because this same attitude persists, and policymakers and legislators, whilst they pay homage and lip service to morality and the rule of law, they actually do, in fact, inevitably bow in the face of financial gain. So is diversity financially viable? That is the question. I think they missed a trick. I think we've all missed a trick if we do not explore the value to be had from a diverse group of people with different talents, giving them room to expand and explore and to express what lies beneath. Because within the work context, what we find happening is that too often, two things subsist. There aren't enough diverse people within the workplace because there is no deliberate diversity that is being pursued. So the recruitment reflects that. You look around in the workplaces, and of course we're in a world, or when you're in a country where the majority are not Black, you will have that distinction in terms of numbers, but we can find more than one person who might be African or Asian, or we can find more women, we can find a few more people who aren't able-bodied who've got the knowledge. We can find more people who are of a different sexual orientation to work in this field. And we can find more people who might not necessarily be svelte or might, subscribe to an alternate religion. So I'm saying all of these things so we understand that despite the fact that I might be a Caribbean woman, I am by no means proposing that diversity is about race only. And we also have to understand the whole matter of intersectionality. Because you're not going to find one person with only one thing that distinguishes them. No, you might find, and here's it, you might also find people with hidden disabilities. You might even find a white woman who I, as a Black woman, at first glance thinks, oh, well, she clearly has that privilege, without realizing she has hidden or disabilities. She might be of an alternate sexual orientation, or she might have converted to a not so popular religion. We don't think about the whole matter of intersectionality, do we? You don't think about the fact that, you might even have a white male who's disabled and gay, who suffers indignities that most of his female counterparts would not even begin to imagine. So we have to first of all open our eyes, first of all, to what diversity and who are the various marginalized groups that we need to consider when we think of the whole concept of diversity. And secondly, we need to look at privilege. We need to understand what privilege is, because we'd say white privilege, but there's not just white privilege. There is something called privilege. So when I do my training on diversity, one of the sections that I teach is on allyship. And I try to take my group through the process of just opening and expanding the mind. So I'll ask them to fill out a few, just a form, tick. Can they tick beside certain questions? So one of the questions or statements, can you tick yes? Can you tick that you never have to think twice when you're going out, whether or not the public seating will be comfortable for you? Have you ever had, yes, tick. You've never had to wonder about, should you mention the sex of your partner based on whose company you're in? Tick, never had to worry about that. Mommy and daddy paid for my education. Tick. You never had to worry about any unforeseen large bills. Tick. You never had to worry about being followed in a store or questioned when you attend, you go shopping. Tick. You never feel fearful when you are dealing with the police. Tick. You've never had to have a conversation with your son when going out and about to school or just to have fun about how they should behave if they're stopped by the police. Tick. Need I go on? That's privilege. Yes. But that doesn't necessarily have to do anything to do with just being Black or white. I had to realize that I had privilege. I am a Christian. That's accepted. My holidays are on the calendar. That's privilege. So we start to open our eyes and realize that we've got to, within the workplace, as entrepreneurs, as business people, we've got to be alert. We've got to see how we can be a part of the change. How can we make a difference? How can we make marginalized groups of people, individuals, or sectors of society feel valued and that they belong? How can we do that? So what are the things that you can do and be alert to do is not turn a blind eye when you see someone being treated unfairly, overtly treated unfairly because of whether it's their sex, race, or affiliations. If you are an employer and you are hosting meetings, be careful to give the same amount of voice to everyone, not just the ones that look like you or think like you. Beware microaggressions, and do not let microaggressions go by without checking it if you are somebody in authority. Do not encourage and do not be the one to touch a Black woman's hair in work. Do not be the one or do not encourage people to ask, so where are you really from? Or why did you come over here leaving all of that sunshine? Those are microaggressions. You don't say, you are so lovely, you're so pleasant, so sweet. I can relate to you, not like some. Do not be the one who says, I don't see color. Why? So you should see color. Why should you see color? You should see color because then that would make you be one of the people who are on the alert to ensure that this person of color gets the same break as everyone else. It would also help you to understand how they're feeling and how you can help them to feel better. Be the person who gives the floor and the space within your business or wherever you have your area of influence for people who are marginalized to be able to say how you can help them to feel more valued. I know it sounds like a lot of responsibility, but with privilege comes responsibility. The old legal maxim, he who gets the benefit must bear the burden. Let's be equitable here. Yes? I know it sounds like such a difficult thing. How can we change this? How can we make this difference? In fact, I didn't cause it. Why should I be the one to fix it? No, it's not about fixing it. It's about creating the space for it to fix itself. So what do I mean? So I like to tell you about my upbringing. Because in my country, in the Caribbean, there were all sorts of people in school, my teachers. One was coming in with in a sari, Indian sari, other one in an African dress, another one coming from all sorts, Syria, the Jews, all sorts of people. In my classroom, we had Chinese, Indians, also playing with them, white Jamaicans, all sorts. Yes, so I didn't even see difference. It didn't matter. We were just kids. Yes, personality is what made a difference, not skin color, culture, or anything. We understood the cultures. We understood that they don't bite. You know, we didn't ask them, do you eat normal food? I've been asked that. Have you ever been asked as a white British or American, do you eat normal food? I don't think so. Yes, but I have been asked that question. Yes. But there is hope to the askers of those questions because I married him. My husband asked me that question because he was not aware of his white privilege. And he never understood what a question like that would be. So there's hope, guys. Nobody's perfect. We're having a fireside chat. Yes. So what do we do then to bring this to this our context? Recruiters need to get everybody in. We got to get everybody trained up to make room for diversity. You've got to incentivize our employees to encourage conversation and togetherness with otherwise marginalized groups. Yes, the local authorities, the government, we've got to legislate. We've got to fund initiatives, put the money in so that employers can prioritize deliberate diversity. Yes? And I assure you that when these people from different backgrounds, cultures, training, who come in equipped and confident to speak and get their giftings out, they will add the value to your business that will affect a positive bottom line. So that's all I want to say, my little chat. Let's think about it. Let's think about deliberate diversity. Let's think about training and recruiting correctly to get that to be something that happens naturally. Yes, let's think about becoming allies. Let's think about making everyone feel valued just the same. It can be done. And if it can be done, let's be the ones to do it. Because we go together or not at all. Thank you so much for listening.